Hey guys, Dr. Brandon Crawford here. I'm the founder of the Austin Center for Developing Minds. We are located just north of Austin, Texas in Cedar Park. And what we do is we focus on developmental functional neurology. Hopefully you'll have a chance to catch my lecture because I'm going to be taking you through what that process looks like and why it's so important to focus on rehabbing the brain in the right way, at the right time, with the right frequency and oscillations and all this kind of stuff, right? So I'm very honored to be a part of this conference. This conference is very meaningful. I love all the people involved, and obviously the cause is fantastic. So thank you again, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Due to advances in technology and bioscience, the most efficient ways emerging to treat pain and injury revolve around the nervous system. Using the human body's amazing ability called neuroplasticity, it is now possible to activate increased strength, pain-free movement, and faster healing. This is the Newbie device, a patented electrical stimulation device used for neuromuscular re-education. While conventional treatments for pain and injury only manage symptoms, the Newbie device allows you to work at the source of the problem. Using this approach, 90% of individuals notice meaningful progress in the very first session, and evidence is showing those early results also lead to faster overall recovery from most injuries and surgeries. There's finally help for people having difficulty recovering from injury, living with chronic pain, or experiencing challenging neurological conditions. Ask your doctor or therapist about the Newbie from NewFit, accessing the power of the nervous system to improve outcomes.
Have you ever been told to get used to your new normal? When I was first told to get used to my new normal, I was unable to eat, unable to walk, unable to talk, and I was angry. The last thing I wanted was for my current reality to become normal. So I chose to create my new normal, and I now help families to do the same. Today, I love my life. I'm an author, I'm a speaker, I'm a podcast host, I play music, I travel, I have a beautiful family. If I had accepted the new normal, I wouldn't be living the life that I am so appreciative to be living today. This is why I'm a neurotrauma medical advocate and an empowered neuro rehabilitation specialist. I love working with people like you and helping parents to see their child recover as best as possible. My name is Cavin Balaster. When I was in a coma, I was unable to hear the beeping of the machines that were monitoring my vitals. I was unable to feel the tube that was down my throat and supplied oxygen to my incapable lungs. And I didn't hear my mother's heart break when she was told that I had less than a 10% chance of ever waking. She was then told that even if I did wake up, I would likely remain in a persistent vegetative state. I had sustained a severe traumatic brain injury, and I had a whole laundry list of broken bones, lacerated organs, infections, and brain insults. Just like you, my mom stayed by my side almost 24/7, holding my comatose hand, refusing to give up on her youngest son. Knowing how important music is to me, she had one of my guitars rush to the hospital, and she played for me every night. She would sing the first song she ever taught me on guitar. Blackbird by the Beatles. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. She played this for me night after night. And on the 12th night, I woke up. I didn't remember anything in the past month, and I had no idea what had happened or where I was. I was breathing through a tube in my throat. I was receiving nutrition through a tube in my belly. I had double vision, and my left hand and foot were completely flexed inward. So I couldn't walk, I couldn't speak, I couldn't eat. One of my hands was unusable. I couldn't even breathe on my own. The first months in the hospital were very tenuous, with the need for a second coma, surgeries, and life-threatening infections like pneumonia and MRSA. My mom continued to be a fierce advocate, researching the best possible doctors, treatments, therapies, and facilities that could help me. After 5 months in the hospital, I was finally released to my mother's care, where she could exchange the hospital recommended nutritional liquid formula that was being fed through my gastric tube, which is basically fortified corn syrup. She could swap that out for real home-cooked meals, pureed in a blender and fed through my gastric tube. This method is described in my book, How to Feed a Brain, which you all should have a copy of. I immediately began getting stronger, and within weeks, I was able to stand and take my first steps without a walker. This was a huge milestone for me, and I know that eating real foods helped strengthen my mind, my body, and my spirit. By this point, my mother and I had gone to a few brain injury support groups. And just like some doctors had said earlier, at these support groups we were told that we needed to get used to our new normal. But I had heard about neuroplasticity and neuronal connections rebuilding and brain tissue regrowing. And I had already seen so many improvements through nutrition, and no doctor had said anything about real food. And nobody was talking about nutrition in these support groups. So through my mom's research, I was steered towards a specific nutritional protocol to reduce brain inflammation and to heal my gut. And again, in another milestone moment, my brain fog immediately began to clear. I couldn't believe it. I could finally make some sense of what had happened and where I was. And I realized that the conventional medical model of neurorehabilitation, or the way that we improve brain function after brain injury or disease, the current model of neurorehabilitation is incomplete at best. You may have realized the same thing. I had to figure out how to heal myself, because the neurorehabilitation model wasn't going to cut it. So I began to research like my life depended on it, because it did. You are probably researching like your child's life depends on it, because it does. I began researching neurology, brain health, nutrition, and anything else I could get my hands on to heal my severely damaged brain and to rehabilitate my neurology and my body. After meeting so many different practitioners with so many different credentials and letters after their names, and asking difficult questions of them, and getting unsatisfactory answers from some of them, I decided that credentials and letters after the name are not what qualifies somebody. Results are what qualify someone. And I began to steer my recovery towards those who had been where I was and who were now where I wanted to be. I wanted to know how they got from A to Z, who they worked with along the way, and how their journey could help me on my own. For the last several years, I've been working one-on-one with amazing souls like you all, leveraging my connections, my knowledge, my skills, my experience to implement powerful tools and techniques to truly help my clients to accelerate their recovery and their quality of life. I love doing the work I do because it's often life-saving. Not only for the brain injured child, but for the entire family. See, neurotrauma comes in all sorts of different shapes and sizes. And because no two brains are the same, no two brain injuries are the same. And I'm sure you've heard no two brain injuries are the same. In my experience, however, I've found that there are a few main areas that parents often come to me with. So I want to give you all a few safe and effective tools that we can use right now to support normal neurology without drugs or surgery. And these are tools that I've found extremely effective in helping folks with serious issues. So the first issue that parents often come to me with is anger issues with their children. And of course your child is angry. I was angry too. My whole life had been changed in an instant, and I was mad. So brain inflammation often contributes to mood disorders, and brain inflammation is basically a certainty with brain injury. So an effective, inexpensive, and very safe supplement that reduces brain inflammation is known as NAC. NAC. This is safe even at huge doses. You can find the supplements that I like at feedabrain.com/Luke, which I've made just for you guys. Another contributor to anger issues is excess glutamate in the brain, which is also very common with brain injury. Excess glutamate basically agitates the brain and brings on anxiety. You may have heard people refer to these anger outbursts as brainstorms. So a safe and inexpensive and effective supplement to reduce glutamate levels in the brain is vitamin B6. I like the P5P form, which you can also find at feedabrain.com/Luke, and I have dosage guidelines on there as well. Another reason that those with brain injury or other neurological conditions may be short-tempered is because they feel unsafe and are overactive in their limbic brains. You see, our body is constantly sending signals to our brain so that we know where we are in space and time. And after a brain injury, these signals get muted or need to be rewired. It's hard to feel safe when you don't know where you are and what's around you. So a really great test that I want you to try with your child is have them stand with their feet together and their arms by their side, and just have them stand there looking at a target at first. And then have them close their eyes. Usually, what often happens is they will lose their balance with their eyes closed. This means that their proprioception, or the signals that are going from their body to their brain, aren't reaching their brain effectively or are not being interpreted effectively. So, if that is the case, then we want to rehabilitate that. And something that I have found extremely powerful is using a vibration platform. My experience with the vibration platform is with that exact test. My functional neurologist had me put my feet together, stand there, look at a target. I could stand while I was using my vision. But when I took away the visual stimuli, when I closed my eyes, I lost my balance almost immediately. So he said, all right, let's put you on a vibration platform. And I didn't understand why until I did a whole lot more research. But when I was on the vibration platform, I was able to close my eyes with my feet together and stand. And the reason why is because I was receiving way more input from my body to my brain. And when we're sending lots of signals to the brain and then sending lots of signals from the brain to the body, meaning getting the information from our body and then sending the information out to balance ourselves, that builds strength in our neurology. And doing that practice, closing my eyes on the vibration platform, helped enormously. So if you do this test with your child, and if they lose their balance, head over to feedabrain.com, where I have feedabrain.com/Luke. I have put the vibration platform that I use and that I use with my clients and get really great results. One particular client comes to mind who had serious anger issues. He would yell at his family every single night. And in the morning, he would apologize to his family. When he was telling me about this, he was in tears. He did not like the monster that he became just about every single night. And although it seems unrelated, I understand how connected feeling safe, feeling balanced, and knowing where you are is to your emotions. So I had him do this simple practice. Stand on a vibration platform with your eyes closed. I had him set it to a specific speed and had him stand there. And I had him do that twice a day. And by our next call, they were seeing improvements. Not completely better, but he continued the practice, and within just a few weeks, he stopped yelling at his family completely, and they had a much better relationship. He told me he was so much more comfortable and confident with himself, and his family was so happy to see the improvements. My favorite vibration platform, which I use with my clients and have had great success with, can be found at feedabrain.com/Luke. Another serious issue that people have come to me with is seizures. And I've worked with many children who have had seizures, and I've had some great success in coaching them to mitigate, slow, and even eliminate seizures. Now, when I'm working with seizures, I'm working with the whole medical team, because it gets dicey at times. They can be tricky to work with. But high-dose DHA from fish oil or algae oil is one of my favorite supplements for the brain because it is so safe and so effective. DHA has been shown to be extremely effective in reducing inflammation and reducing seizure activity in the brain. I had a client who had a 14-year-old daughter who was in a tragic car accident, and she was severely brain injured and was having seizures every few hours. We made a few simple nutrition and supplementation changes, and her seizures immediately slowed and completely stopped within a few months. I have more information of DHA and where you can get my favorite form at feedabrain.com/Luke. Probably the most important issue that people come to me with is navigating a medical system that basically ignores nutrition and supplementation as effective therapies, even though the research shows so much efficacy and safety with natural compounds. So I work with clients in order to navigate this space and to get them the treatment they choose, even if that treatment is outside of the medical standard of care. And I put standard of care in quotes because I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about what the standard of care is. So the standard of care was coined for medical malpractice claims. A medical malpractice claim requires that the defendant, quote, deviated from the applicable standard of care. The defendant in this case would be the medical practitioner. So how do we define the medical standard of care? It is defined as the type and level of care an ordinary prudent healthcare professional with the same training and experience would provide under similar circumstances in the same community. And if a practitioner deviates from the ordinary same similar standard of care, they're liable to be sued. So don't get me wrong, the standard of care also ensures a certain level of care for everybody. But the ordinary same similar standard is not always the best treatment. If you have a loved one who's given a grim prognosis, the last thing you should want is the ordinary same similar standard of care. An ordinary treatment that gets the same or similar results, I don't think so. That's not what I would want. So check this out. I work with clients and I have a 100% success rate coaching them on how to navigate and to get support in implementation of practices outside of the standard of care, even in a hospital setting. So how is this done? I mean, if you ask a physician if you can do a practice outside of the standard of care, and they're liable to be sued if they deviate from the standard of care, then when you ask them, they basically have to say no. So this is how it's done. Don't ask. And I'm not saying go behind their back and do it anyways. What I'm saying is don't ask. There's something called the tenets of medical ethics, which are ethical principles of medicine. And the very first tenet of medical ethics is patient autonomy. It says the patient has the right to refuse and to choose their treatment. So don't ask. Tell them what treatment you choose. Do them a favor. Tell them what treatment you choose, because physicians' hands are tied by the standard of care. They can't do other practices without putting their medical license in jeopardy. So now you've let them off the hook, and you've given them another practice that they can do without being liable. And it's sometimes met with appreciation, and sometimes it's not. Honestly, sometimes some physicians are like, nope, I'm not doing that practice. And when that happens, here's what you say. You say, cool, please refer me to somebody who will give me the treatment I choose. This changes lives. This is such a useful tool for families and for anybody who is within the medical system, any patient or family member that finds themselves in a place where they're within a medical system, which, let's be honest, is every one of us at some point in our life. So I say this, and it has been taken out of context before, and people have been in a combative mode with their medical team. So they'll be like, you have to give me the treatment I choose because of the tenets of medical ethics, and I have patient autonomy, and they create a combative situation. That's the last thing we want. We want to keep it collaborative, because think about it. You want the same thing. You all want the patient to get better. And when you approach it from this place of cooperation and collaboration and helping to reach a common goal, you get much better, you get much more cooperation from your medical team in that place. This is what truly changes lives, and it means so much to be sharing it with you, because I have seen so many people get the treatments they choose, get treatments that are far superior than the ordinary same similar standard. You know, when it comes to the medical system, most physicians were only taught a medication-centered model of practicing, and they're not even familiar with the research surrounding nutrition and supplementation. When clients partner with me, they're getting an experienced guide to hold their hand through the ins and outs of the entire brain injury recovery process. Sometimes in the first hours and days in the hospital, and sometimes in the months and years of recovery following. When folks start working with me, we start with an initial call. And this is where I see if and how I can help you and your family. The next step, we make a plan for your child. I research the best possible therapies, treatments, and protocols for each client's specific situation, and I consult with my network of physicians to find the most helpful and cost-effective practices. Step 3 is the implementation of this plan. And we work through this implementation using Zoom, video, audio, text messaging, as well as weekly calls so that we're able to accomplish our goals and to ensure success. So look, in the first months of my recovery, my mom was my hero. As I became stronger, I became my own hero. Right now, you are the hero of your little boy or your little girl's journey. And I am here to be your partner and guide to help you navigate this journey. As I said, so much went into my recovery. I mean, I spent months working on just being able to lift my wrist. And after weeks and months of physical therapy and occupational therapy, as soon as I could lift my wrist enough to wrap it around a guitar, that's what I did. I had a throat surgery, and after that surgery, I was able to speak again. And as soon as I could speak, I tried to sing. And even though I have no memory of that time while I was in a coma, in fact, an entire month of my life is a complete void, as soon as I could play, the first song I tried to play was Blackbird by the Beatles. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. See, I believe that we all have wings that can take us anywhere. I believe your child has wings that can take them anywhere. But many things in the system we're in tries to clip our wings and take away our power. Let's take these broken wings and let's go beyond the new normal. I just showed you how we can take these broken wings and we can go beyond the standard of care. Let's take these broken wings and get your child the best neuro rehabilitation possible. Let's take these broken wings and let's watch your baby fly again. Schedule a consultation with me at feedabrain.com/Luke.